Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. So this week we are looking at weaving. So we're going to make our very own woven project today. We're going to make a ginormous woven watermelon. So for this project, you want a big piece of pink and red paper. We want some strips of green paper. We're going to use these later on. You want something to color with. I have markers, a pencil, and an eraser, our art tool basics, some glue, scissors, and then you want something that has a straight side to it. So I have a ruler, but you could use a book or anything that has a straight side to it. So we're going to set all of this other stuff aside because we need our big papers right now. So our first step is going to be drawing a ginormous watermelon shape. So to do this, I'm going to start in each corner and I'm going to make a ginormous U shape. Like that. Making for sure it's even on both sides and looks nice. So from my two corners, I came down almost to the bottom of my paper and I made a ginormous U shape. I'm going to cut this out and then we're going to trace it onto this one so our red one can be the same size. So I'm going to do that now and then we'll come back together and do our red paper. Our pink one cut out, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down with one hand and then I'm going to use my other pencil to go around this. And now we have that line so we can cut out our red so they're the same size. So I'm going to get this red cut out and then we'll move on to our next step. For two watermelons. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start on my weaving. So I'm going to take whatever I have for my straight line and I'm going to go up here to the top and I'm going to make a thick line at the top. Like this. So I know not to cut through into this area. And then using this ruler, I'm going to go through and make some straight lines. And they don't have to be perfect, but I want them to be pretty even. So I'm going through and I'm adding in my lines on my red one. And if you can see, these ones are going down. So I'm making a bunch of straight lines spaced out going down like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on these lines. So I'm not going to cut into this area where we do a straight line at the top. I'm just going to cut on the sides of these lines that we drew. So I'm going to get this all cut and then we're going to move on to the pink part of our watermelon. Alright, so we got this all cut out and ready to go like this. So we're going to set this aside because now we want to move on to our pink part. And if you remember, I drew a line right here at the top, so I'm going to do that again, like that. And then I'm going to add, instead of going down this way, I'm going to add a bunch of straight lines the other way. So we made our red lines, if you remember, they went down. For these ones, we're going to have them going this other way, and I'm going to try to make them as even as possible, like this, going down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut each of these out, cutting all the way so I can get strips of pink to weave in to my red. So we drew our line at the top, and I'm going to cut that out, and that's not going to fit in here. But we're going to use all of these other pieces. So I'm going to get them cut out, and then we'll move on to our next step. Right, I got that top strip cut off. Now we're going to cut our first pink strip like this. So now we have our first pink strip cut off, and we're going to use it to weave inside of our watermelon. All right, so let's start getting this inside here. What you're going to do is you want to start over, and then we're going to go, so over, under. Then we're going to go under, over. Oop, I should move it more. So this one's going over, so this one goes under. Over, under, over. This one should be on top right here. And then this last one's going to go under, and then we're going to push it all the way up to where it fits in perfectly like that. So now we're going to move on to our next one. I'm going to get this next strip cut out, and then we're going to continue weaving all the way down. Right, so now we want this to look like a checkered board, so we're going to change our weaving a little bit. For this first one, we went over, under, so now we're going to change it, and instead of starting on the top, we're going to start underneath, and then over, under, over, lifting this up so we can go under, over, lifting this up so we can go under, over, and we can push that all the way until it's right next to our other pink one. And now we're going to cut off our next and keep going. So again, now this one's going under, so now we're going to start over again. And we're going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. So then for this one, we want to go under. So you got to pick up the corner the best you can, and then we're going to put it in there like that. And now we only have 3 that are left. I'm going to get these cut out, and then we're going to weave them together, and we are almost done. So we only have a few pieces left. So this one is under, so we're going to go over, under, over, lift up this flap, under, over, whoop, under like that. And now I just have my last little piece. So under, over, under, over, like that. I don't even know if it'll fit. What I'm going to do now is we have all of these flaps on the side, and all of these edges on the side, we want to make for sure they are glued. So I'm going to add glue to all of these side pieces like that, so we can make for sure it's all stuck together. And so this bottom piece, you know what, I don't even think this is going to fit, so I'm not going to use it. If you have a part that's just not quite fitting at the end, I bet you'll be fine without it. And so then I'm gluing and squeezing and going along all of the edges and gluing down all of my flaps. Excuse me. So once I have it all done on this side, I need to flip it over so we can glue down on the other side as well. So now I need to go back and glue all of these edges too. I'm going to get them all glued, and then we are going to finish up. All right, so I have it all glued down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use these green papers to glue all the way around for the watermelon rind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue all along the edges like that. And then I can start using this green paper to make our watermelon rind on the sides. Like that. since they're longer strips, I'm cutting them so they're easier to fit and use. Like that. So then I can come back and I can add it all around the edge, making for sure it's glued nice and tight. So I'm going to keep gluing my watermelon rind all around the side, and then we will finish by adding in some watermelon seeds. Alright, so I got my watermelon rind all the way down the sides, and now I'm going to use this green marker, and I'm going to add in some squiggly lines on the green to make it look more like watermelon rind, going all the way around the side. And then I'm going to use my black marker to add in some watermelon seeds all around. So there is our watermelon rind. Now all we need are our watermelon seeds. So then we're going to add these just all around, wherever you think they would fit. They're kind of just big flat ovals. And once we have these added in, we will be done. Finally. I'm going to keep adding these in, and then we will be finished. All right, friends. Maybe I'll add some right here at the top, too. That is our ginormous woven watermelon. I can't wait to see how your projects come out, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. Goodbye, you guys.